Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Well, on The View, it happened. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice gave her opinion about the critical race theory. And I had planned on doing a video about this particular topic, but watching Condoleezza and hearing what she had to say really did spark my interest. So I want you to hear what Condoleezza Rice had to say about the critical race theory.
Worries that I have about the way that we're talking about race is that it either seems so big that somehow white people now have to feel guilty for everything that happened in the past. I don't think that's very productive. Or black people have to feel disempowered by race. I would like black kids to be completely empowered, to know that they are beautiful in their blackness. But in order to do that, I don't have to make white kids feel bad for being white.
Okay, so she uses some very interesting words. And what sticks out is the part about making whites feel uncomfortable. Who is making anyone feel uncomfortable? The truth is the truth. And that should not be watered down to make people feel comfortable. You have to understand this. If people have difficulty in understanding racial disparities, which are very persistent to this very day, and how these disparities aided and abetted a group of people, and how they were detrimental to other groups of people, and people trying to bring forth education to systematically dismantle racism. If that's going to make someone feel uncomfortable, the racial past, I say that's too bad. Because the history of racism in America is very uncomfortable. And to be honest with you, people should feel uncomfortable. Part of understanding the truth and what the truth is very uncomfortable. That's part of stepping into adulthood. It's not about trying to make someone feel guilty. You're feeling guilty because maybe it's something within your consciousness. So I disagree with that particular term right there. And it's very strange that critical race theory, that she made it out of a black and white issue. Okay, I guess because she's a black female and she's concerned with the plight of black people, I think. But okay, I can bounce off this particular topic right there. Critical race theory, as long as they keep it talking about disparities, how a group of people have benefited from these disparities, and how the system is set to benefit one group at the detriment of another. I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is if it goes off into the teachings of black history. I have a problem with that because I think that black history is something that black parents should teach black children. I believe that black history is something that black people should rely on community centers for leaders, even some type of online teaching by black people to black children. I just am afraid that this whole critical race theory, part of it is going to branch off into black history relying on public education or the American educational system, which is very racist, in which you would have teachers who would not be happy, who would not be prideful, who would not be enthusiastic about teaching black history to their students. So that's my concern with the whole critical race theory. I just feel like it can get very lost. And as a pro-black person, I do not want to rely on the American educational system to teach that part of history. If they keep it systematically, I'm okay with that. If they keep it about the institutions, justices, injustices, prejudices, things like that, I'm okay with. But not when it branches off into black history, which there is a difference. There is a difference. Black history should remain and be solely for the purpose of black adults teaching black children. It should not be put into the hands of others to teach our children. So, all this talk about making white people feel guilty, or they may feel guilty, or boo hoo 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 hoo, so what? I mean, you make black people feel guilty all the time. You really do. Negative poll stats and surveys that are a lie, exaggerations about crime, about all the ills of America. How do you think black people feel? And all of a sudden now, Condoleezza Rice and others are concerned about the feelings of white people and how we don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. Well, the topic of race in America is very uncomfortable. The history of race in America is very uncomfortable. It's not something that one can avoid. It's part of the learning process. It's part of growing up, going into adulthood and beyond. So no, I do not give a damn about people's feelings when it comes to that. About making people feel guilty, which people cannot be made to feel guilty. That's their own problem, not the problems of black people. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.